What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from JD Sports Zone, and today I have a very special interview with former MLB utility man, Mr. Taylor Motter. Taylor, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. And how's your day going?
It's going great. It's been a little busy running around with some kids, but I appreciate you having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you on. And I want to start off with my first question about your MLB career. After your days at Coastal Carolina, you were drafted in the 2011 MLB draft, and you made your debut with the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2016. What do you remember most about your MLB debut? I know everybody says that 2026 is the new 2016. So, what do you remember most from that debut?
Man, 10 years ago. You know what? It's funny. I remember getting called in the office in Charlotte playing the Knights, getting down to Tampa that next day, thinking I was going to play, having all my family come up and everyone sitting in the trop, and then to find out I wasn't going to play that night, that we were going to hop on a plane and go to Toronto and make my debut in Toronto. So my parents got to see me put on, my family, my wife, everything like that got to see me put on my first big league uniform, but didn't get to see me play. My wife got to see me play, but my parents weren't big flyers, so they got to watch on TV.
I mean, it's still great to hear that, you were surrounded by family and, your first MLB suit up and getting to play in a different country like Rogers Center in Canada. So it's great to hear all the different experiences from MLB debuts. Now, I know it was 10 years ago, and I have the MLB
Yeah.
debut lineup card right now. From your MLB debut, can you name the 1 through 9 of that Tampa Bay Rays 2016 team versus the Toronto Blue Jays?
So I could do it by positions for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Longo at third,
Mm-hmm.
me at short.
Mm-hmm.
I think Forsythe was hurt, so Beckham was at second,
Yes.
Logan Morrison at first,
It was
Kirk
not Logan
Casale.
Morrison.
Ooh.
He
Okay,
came
we'll
in
get
for
back to that one.
Longoria later on.
Who came in for Longoria?
Logan Morrison came in for Longoria a little later on.
Gotcha. Okay. So then behind the plate, we had Kirk Casale or Hank Conger.
Mm-hmm. Kirk Casale.
Center field, we had Kiermaier.
Yes.
Left field would have been Dickerson.
It was not Dickerson.
Right field was Souza.
Yes.
Left field was, oh man, I'm missing first and left.
And DH.
First,
DH as well.
oh, the DH. Was Brad Miller on that team?
Brad Miller was on the team, but he was not in the lineup, no.
Man, killing me here with these. That's a good question. I'm blanking. Who was the left fielder?
Left fielder, it was Desmond Jennings. Desmond was out there.
Jennings. Yep, Jennings. Jennings. Then at first base would have been.
I
Oh, it
can
wasn't
give you
Dickerson.
I can give you this, the 2018 World Series MVP.
Oh God, I should know that right off the tip of my tongue. Then 2018 was. Man, I am blanking so hard right now. Um, Watch this. All right, little reference sheet. Um. Oh, Stephen Pierce. Duh.
Yep. Yep.
Guy or DHing. Guy
Hmm.
or DHing.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
yeah, I know it's really tough. It was 10 years ago. I think the fastest somebody has ever gotten it was Justin Nicolino, just because he had the lineup card right behind him. But
Gotcha.
it's yeah. I've had Logan Morrison on, great guy as well to talk with.
Yes.
But yeah, it's 10 years ago. I think I was 12 years old at the time, so I don't
Man.
I don't remember much either. But I would like to ask you my next question about this because you're known as an MLB utility guy, and I also talked with Greg Garcia, who also happened to be a utility guy as well. As somebody who's played multiple positions, how do you, I guess, mentally prepare to shift different positions on off days heading into a game?
Man, so being the utility guy, it's different. You go to bed every night waiting for the lineup to be, sent out. and you get the night and the day to prepare kind of what you're doing for. But you have to trust that your practice has been good enough in your preparation pregame, the day before, things like that. You have to hope all that stuff is good enough to, put you in a position. And I had really good coaches in Tampa Bay who would help me. When I first came out as a shortstop, I moved to third base my first year. Then I went out to the outfield solely in double A and triple A. I moved a little bit back into the infield. So I had a base of all the positions, but the positions are same, but they're different. Left field, the ball's moving a little different than it is in right field. Shortstop, you got to come get a ball. Third base is, you're kind of hoping you don't get hit in the face sometimes. So it was different. Preparation was great, but just getting the 10 hours to mentally prepare what could possibly happen was good. And then just the trust in the process of you working and doing everything you needed to do to be ready for that position.
That's great to hear because I know a lot of baseball fans don't really realize how hard it is for a utility player to kind of shift positions, not just mentally but physically prepare ahead of a game. So I appreciate you for sharing that. And I know you mentioned that you played. Well, I mentioned that you played different positions, several positions. You also played for several teams. For example, my St. Louis Cardinals during your MLB career. You played for several different teams like the Mariners, like the Cardinals, like the Rays. What does being a journeyman has taught you during your MLB career? Like, what was the biggest lesson you got throughout that?
You know what? It's funny that the non-baseball answer is how to adapt with 25 different personalities in a locker room, right? I think I did it. I think I was on over 25 teams throughout my career, and it could be more off the top of my head. I think it was 25 teams throughout my minor league and big league career. So you're looking at 25 to 30 guys a team, sometimes on two different teams a year. And, just the ability to be a chameleon and adapt to different people and things like that. And that was the biggest thing I got personality wise, was how to adapt to 25 different guys in a locker room, not starting there in spring training, knowing them from day one, showing up, how to be a good guy, how to earn respect, things like that.
It's great to hear this, I guess, perspective of things because I've interviewed a couple of different MLB journeymen, and you have to be adaptable, not just in the baseball answer. I love the answer you gave with the non-baseball answer, having to adapt to different situations, deal with different personalities that, a lot of people have to adapt in with the workforce. So it's great to hear, that side of things. I want to ask you some fun questions about your MLB
Love
career,
it.
and I love asking this questions. I'm a big foodie. And
Okay.
again, as I mentioned, you played for different organizations throughout your MLB career. What was the best food place that you
Seattle.
ever got to experience?
Seattle.
Seattle?
Seattle. Easily Seattle. Yep.
What is Seattle known for food wise?
Seafood, obviously, the things like that. But I would say two of the places that me and my wife went to a lot were like sushi, Asian fusion style restaurants that they had downtown near Pike's Place, and it was some of the more memorable meals. Now, obviously, New York has some good spots. We had some good spots in Toronto. Chicago has a couple good pizza joints and little small stuff. Obviously the big restaurants too, but Seattle was one of the ones I was at home and just was unbelievable.
Are you a crab or lobster guy?
That's a good question. Lobster. I don't like all the work with the crab.
hmm No, I completely agree. I'm also a big shrimp fan. So
Okay.
you don't get any good seafood places down here in Georgia. It's known for barbecue, and I
Yep.
moved down here about 3 years ago. And there's also no good pizza places. It's just so disappointing.
Yeah,
So
we're in
dis
Florida, so we're a little mixture. So you get your boiled peanuts, your barbecue, and
Mhm.
you're good to go in Georgia.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you another fun question because you talked about dealing with a lot of different personalities, and you had a lot of teammates throughout your MLB career. If you can choose four teammates that you've had throughout your entire MLB career to go on a road trip, where are you going and why, and who are you choosing?
Man, great question. Um, so my first roommate and guy who I lived with throughout pretty much my minor league career, Luke Maley.
Mhm.
Um, awesome dude, fun dude, down to earth dude. Kind of kept me centered. So I would take him, me, him. I'm taking. God, there's so many to choose from. Is the problem? I'm trying to get all the personalities mixed together here.
Mhm.
Let's go. I enjoyed Kurt Casale was fun. I'll throw him on there. And then I would throw another guy. Let's do Richie Schaefer.
Mhm.
All these guys were my guys who I came up with, guys who I was in Tampa with, and we roomed together. We had some good times. Brad Miller was another one who I'd throw in there. Um, those would be my four solid ones, just based on being around them, knowing them, understanding them, having fun, and then where we're going. That's a even better question. We're going somewhere in. I don't want to. We're going outside of the U.S. We're going to Dubai. That sounds fun. Yeah, we'll go to Dubai. Yep.
I think that'd be a phenomenal vacation spot. And, again, very familiar with Luke Maley and Kurt Casale, watching them as a big MLB fan. So, I mean, would you ever consider, like, maybe if you were to ever continue your baseball career, playing in Baseball United in Dubai?
It's funny. I talked about that. So Cano's a big. I played with in Seattle. I've stayed in touch with. Pretty close friend of mine. Played him in Mexico when I played down there. And I remember reaching out to him about playing there, and it's was definitely an option. Still could be an option, depending on everything that happens. But I got the 3-year-old and the 2-year-old right now at
Mhm.
home, so if we could solidify a schedule and the plane flight was maybe a little less, it might be tempting.
Mm.
It might be tempting.
We could see a Taylor Motter Baseball United career. I would love to see it. I would also love to see Taylor Motter in Banana Ball. Would you ever be interested in doing like a Banana Ball thing?
Man, you know what? I've heard this. So I'm coaching right now at IMG Academy.
Hmm.
Kind of where my career's brought me, and wanted to see if coaching might be the next step for me, being bored at home, things like that. And I've had this conversation with plenty of these kids down there. Banana Ball has done something special for the sport of baseball. It's brought a lot of younger fans to the game. It's obvious they're selling out stadiums. They're doing a bunch of things like that. I don't know if my baseball mind can get into Banana Ball. Now, that's not to say it could. JBJ's doing it. So I played with him. I liked him a lot. He was a good dude. Know him really well. He looks like he's having a blast doing it. And that's kind of where you get to at the end of your career. You just want to have fun with it. And I don't know if my brain is quite wrapped around me trying to get into the Banana Ball thing. But, I applaud them for what they've done, because it's brought a lot of young kids back to wanting to watch baseball and be a part of baseball.
I mean, I definitely love to see it. I can see you doing some dances and trick plays out there on the field with the Savannah Bananas, Logan Beach Coconuts. I would love to see it one day, but maybe down the line.
Maybe we'll see if the phone rings. Maybe.
Yeah. I want to ask you this question because my very first MLB guest ever interviewed was Danny Espinosa for the Washington Nationals. And I asked him this, what is the toughest pitcher, or who is the toughest pitcher you ever faced during your MLB career, and why was he so tough?
So if you look at my career, how it went, there were a couple times where I played more than, a couple weeks in a row because of injury and things like that. But I was mostly the guy who played against left-handers, came in off the bench, utility guy. Guy needed a day off. I played mostly against a lefty. So my answer for this has always been lefties. And I got a couple. And one of them is Sale. One of them is Andrew Miller, old school Cardinal,
Mhm.
and Chapman. But then there's a sneaky one of Britton, um, closer for the Orioles and the Yankees for a while. He was nasty too. And Sale and Andrew Miller in the same boat because arm angle, funkiness, slow behind, kind of lower 3/4. Chapman, he gets the leg way up and it's just fuzz balls all the time. And then Britton was funny because I remember wanting to get into that box so bad against him. Like, man, I got this. All I got to do is put barrel on it. I'll prove everyone he's really like, just a lefty. Man, I went up there. That ball was moving every which way, sinking, diving, moving. I got back in the dugout 3 strikes later and said, "Oh my, I understand why people didn't want to face this guy." So all of them have different reasons, but they were my four hardest right there.
Hmm. The only way I can imagine facing those guys is MLB The Show, and I play that like religiously. But honestly, the great stories. As a Cardinals fan, I always hated watching Aroldis Chapman on the mound. Great, phenomenal player, but hated facing him. But
Yep.
it's great to hear that. From the lefty side of things. I have two more questions for you before we wrap up this interview. If you could steal one skill from any current MLB player, whether it be power, speed, defense, who would it be and why?
One skill from any player.
Hmm.
I think it would be, I mean, obviously Otani. And I wouldn't even steal his power. What I would steal is his bat to ball skill, hoping that I could create my own power. So, granted, he stole 50, hit 50, um, but his bat to ball skill, his hitting ability is unbelievable. And if I could throw in a little bit of muscle that got me to the big leagues, I guess, then I would hope that bat to ball skill would play a little more. So, yeah, I'd either say his bat to ball skill or his power, one of those two. I
I
feel like if
feel
you
like
go anybody else besides Otani, I mean, you could go Ellie speed, but then you're still looking at Otani. He's still speed too. You can go Betts with bat to ball skill as well. You could go Betts defense. You could go Arenado defense would be sick too. Um, yeah, there's a lot of options with a lot of different players nowadays.
were you ever a two-way player growing up?
No, you know what? I gave up pitching in 5th grade. Said probably not for me. I'll just figure it out with the bat and the glove someday.
Mhm. I would love to ask you this question before I get to my final question because I know during your MLB career you had the opportunity to pitch on the mound. What was that like for you?
Yep, that was a that was a Statcast or TrackMan or whatever computer we were using nightmare.
Hmm.
Um, I think when I saw the post results of when I did pitch my first time for Tampa, I hit every different arm angle from up to down on the chart, and my hardest velo I think was no harder than 72, which I was told, hey, if you're above 75, we're gonna fine you. So I hit every different arm angle I could on the way down, and I stayed under 72. And then I remember one day with Seattle, I threw a 52 or 53 mile an hour changeup to Moustakis in Kansas City, and he belted one for my first ERA, my first earned run. And I think it was his first homer of the year. And I think he went on to hit like 30 that year after that. So I remember him thanking me later in his when I met him in Cincinnati. He was like, "Man, you got me hot that year. I appreciate that." I was like, "No problem, man. I appreciate you guys kicking our butts that day."
Um, I mean, I feel like that just shows your versatility, hitting every arm angle as a MLB pitcher,
Had to
My,
show the athleticism.
no, completely great story. Now, the final question for you, Mr. Motter. You're a coach at IMG Academy. You're also a mentor with Jay Jackson's Smile Zone. Like, when you look back at your MLB career and what you do with Smile Zone and at IMG, what is some advice that you like to reciprocate to the younger ball players of today's world?
Um, so what I'm noticing the most at IMG is the want to be good. Um, the thought process of being in the MLB, but the loss of being a kid in baseball, right? IMG is such a prestige school. Um, Kids are there. We expect the highest of them, which is understandable. But at the end of the day, too, I grew up playing little league ball, and I played for my middle school team. We weren't that good, but I could tell you I had so much fun doing it. So when the game isn't fun anymore, that's when we need to step back and understand what we're really trying to accomplish. Are we trying to accomplish an MLB player in middle school, or even in the beginning of high school, elementary school, T-ball, coach pitch? Are we really trying to establish an MLB player then, or are we just trying to get them to have fun playing this game and the will and want to get better themselves and give them the best opportunity to play this game till you're 35 or 36 years old when you can't play anymore?
Mm. I feel like that's a great advice and, a mindset that's getting lost in today's world, especially with the evolution of like even in collegiate years, NIL, and everything related to high school ball and everything related with that. But, I think that you're doing a great job as a coach, Mr. Motter at IMG, and everything I've seen with you and mentoring at Smile Zone. And again, I appreciate you for your time and everything that you've said on the podcast. So thank you so much, truly.
Thank you. I know I appreciate you having me. I haven't done one of these in a while, so you racked my brain a little bit back to my playing days. It was nice to go down memory lane there.